Hello there trainers, how are you guys doing? My name is KuroBlitz and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. I know that it's been quite a while, life has been extremely busy, but now, without further ado, I really want to make a celebration on this channel before big changes do happen this summer after my 3 years as a content creator when it comes to the Pokemon anime, games and even more. I would like to, do my video number 140. So I'm basically reaching 150 in terms of videos and 1500 in terms of subscribers. So make sure to, click on the doobly-doos down below. I would like to make a statement and an announcement just to basically vitriolically not be negative all the time when it comes to past shows. I want to focus on the present. I want to focus on the new. And with that, this video will be specifically made to rant one final time about Pokemon journeys and the things that they didn't do. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? And this is going to be, a top 5 kind of topics. So let's get started with this. So, Go. Go is a character that sadly was promoted to, be an incarnation of a mobile game in the main anime, and the catching mechanic just simply failed. There's a lot of videos that I did when it comes to, how Project Mew could have helped him introducing, the mechanics of the games, like for example, instances, Pokeball, Safari Zone challenges. They didn't do anything of that. His goal, just like the season, was extremely ambitious and the world was too big in order to incorporate that. But there are a lot of Pokemon he never did caught. From Regieleki to Project Mew, it was 6 months and he didn't caught anything because Ash was having the tournament to make him world champion. A very bad tournament, no less. Go never got a Cubfu, even though the Chasers both have Urshifu. He never caught a shiny Pokemon besides that one Voltorb with a Blue Maniacs episode. I really believe he should have gotten an Orbeetle. A shiny one, no less. It's a bug, and it becomes a super powerful one. It kinda parallels Caterpie to Butterfree for Ash. But no, they gave him a Caterpie that doesn't even evolve as his first Pokemon. Caught, may I add. Orbeetle would have been amazing. It's bug to defeat Psychic types, and then becomes a Psychic type itself. From Scatterbug to Orbeetle, it's basically a very shy Pokemon that becomes, a Brainiac powerhouse. You cannot say that that's not a good Pokemon for Go. And it can Gigantamax as well. When it even comes to more Galarian species, Darmanitan helped Scorbunny and Sobble with firepower and shyness, but that Darmanitan never interacted with Grookey. That Darmanitan has never interacted with Grookey. Grookey never evolved. And Inteleon is a sore tongue when it comes to, Cinderace, okay? I really believe that if they wanted to focus on Darmanitan a lot more, they could have given, Go a Galarian Darumaka. Basically, a found family situation. The Fire Father adopting the Ice Son. But, Galar has been shafted for the entire series because it's not a Sword and Shield anime. It's, a World Tour anime. But let's be real here. There are a lot of characters of the day and a lot of episodes that could have been completely erased from journeys in order for Ash to simply have 1v1 matches with Galar characters that could have, just added more for, all of his character and for all of his Pokemon. I'm still mad that we never got an episode about Gordy and Melanie, because we had Bee and Alistair, so why not focus on that side of a family? I feel like they could have been Regina's family, the girl with the Glaceon. I feel like that could have been amazing. But no, we don't know that much about Galar. Galar is just a background for Leon. We know more about Decolor Islands and the Orange Archipelago than we know about the Galar region at this point. There are characters we could have utilized brilliantly. Like, the ones that you are seeing now in the image. Bede, Nessa, Cabo, Clara, Clara because, Sword, right? Avery for Go would have been great because he's a psychic expert, but nah, they never did that. We get 2 episodes with Opal, but nothing about Beat. As much as I like the character of Rinto, Rinto is just the fourth Walmart Wally of the anime, and I would have loved if instead of Rinto, we could have had Beat chase Ash after Ash defeats Rose in the darkest day, and Beat is just chasing him like a Duke Devlin situation because Yugi defeats Pegasus, so he's trying to, avenge the former sponsor, right, because of the endorsements, but we get none of that. And it could have been cool for Farfetch too, because Farfetch, is a fighting Pokemon, so battling psychics and fairies, disadvantage. But that Farfetch has Fury Cutter and Brutal Swing and Night Slash, so it basically, hey, you think I'm weak? I can defeat you, dude. And that's basically it, For Clara, she's a poison type gym leader, so that could have been a lot of great development for Gengar. Instead of focusing on the ghost aspect, focus on the poison aspect as well, but no. When it comes to Nessa, Dracovish could have had a lot of development for Nessa. And Nessa lives by the sea. We could have had a lot of Dragonite development as well. Or we could have had, Dragonite development while battling Kabu, right? Because Kabu is from Hoenn. And but he also has Kanto Pokemon in Arcanine and Ninetales, so we could have had a lot of development for Dragonite in that aspect too. And, Kabu is replacing Peony as the Motostoke Gym leader. The Motostoke Gym was a steel one, so this could have been the match where Lucario has to overcome his fire weakness, his most recent now. But I'm guessing that Galar will get a lot more focus in an arc in Horizons, but that's a topic for another day. But speaking about World Tour, Ash's Pokemon. I get it. I get what they were trying to do. Every time Ash participates in a tournament, he never brings his old Pokemon back. He always gets better with just the new ones. However, that's just for regional leagues. It's not for a world tournament. It's very clear that they wanted to end Ash's journey, but they didn't fully commit to it until the very end. So that's why his finale feels extremely half-assed, and that's why his roster only rotated with the epilogue in Mezase. The returns are just to get viewership. It's just for bait, right? And none of them had the same equal amount of shine because some Pokemon sadly are more important than the others. That's why the term aces always comes around in this fanbase, sadly. But it doesn't feel legitimate that Ash becomes the champion of the world with his most recent team. He should have used all of his team. All of his team. You could have had the normal class be the new Pokemon. In the great class, he brings some old Pokemon, and the old Pokemon are the ones that get the win. Like how in the battle against Nando, Heracross and Quilava get the win, but Staraptor is still there. In the Ultra class, he also brings old Pokemon, but the new ones are the ones that get the win. Like against Conway, again in the Sinnoh League, he brought Noctowl and Donphan, but Gible was the one that got the wins. And in the Ultra class, in the Hyper rank, you get 5 battles, the top 100. That could have been a win for every new member of the Journey's team. And then in the Master class, have 2 members of the Journey's team for every fight, and have 4 veterans for every fight. You have basically 18 ultimate aces. If you want for Ash's, Journey's team to work in tandem, either have a fun match against Iris or Lance, the Dragon Masters, his friend and rival and the champion of his home region, or have Ash use his Journey's team to defeat Paul in the Manalo conference. Have Paul be the one to challenge Ash for the Alola League champion title defense, and Ash has to use his new Mons to not tarnish the legacy of his older ones. That would have been perfect, but no. Worst part of it all, Winden Stadium, it's an old stadium unlike Manalo, and that stadium doesn't have environmental battlefields because Gigantamax will destroy it all. But Ash is an environmental genius. Not having environmental battlefields feels like a handicap for Ash's battle genius. And that's very, very sad because in the normal class, in the Shalor Battle Festival, we had those. How can a festival have that, but Winged Stadium cannot? How can the biggest stadium in the world not have environmental battlefields, but the Kanto League had back in the 90s? It feels extremely backwards, right? Anyways, but going back to Kanto, there is a lot of stuff that Journeys was teasing, and I honestly don't know why. We were always in Kanto, but it was just a background, it wasn't a region. There are episodes that I like for example when we go to Rock Tunnel and Seafoam Islands, because we actually go to these landmarks, but we never really explore the region. I would have loved, because Ash battled Viscus, and that's like the best fight in the series. It's very early on, it's episode 18. Go never battled Surge. I wanted for Chloe to battle Janine. They're both daughters of prestigious fathers. It kinda mirrors Dawn against Maylene in Diamond and Pearl, right? But they never did that. We have Lance, who battled Leon, and Lance becomes the champion. So basically there's a whole hierarchy change in the Indigo Plateau of the two regions, and Ash is not even witnessing that happening. Lorelai and Agatha basically retire off screen. We get Will and Karen as the new elites off screen, unless they just bump up Lance and they hire Koga for Janine's sake. But we miss Janine's, trial by fire. We had Sharon's, for God's sakes. And that's very, very sad. And people say that Ash should have rematched Halan, and I do understand that, but without Greninja, that rematch should have been null and void. I prefer a clean absence over a clumsy presence. If Ash was to, fight anyone, it should have been Richie, the first guy that he actually lost to. Because against Halan, it could have gone either way. They actually pull off a good fight. Against Richie is just a sin. And they show Marina, Vincent, and Jimmy, and they never have Ash even battle Jimmy. So again, why do this? We have Ash battle Faulkner again, for some reason. And in my eyes, it's because they were very afraid of having Ash battle Elite Force, and I'm like, why? He's going to battle champions. And then he battles Drasna. Why not have Flint? Flint doesn't need to use fire types. In fact, the fact that Volkner uses Elective Iron, Rotom Fan, it's going to confuse the kids, because when they buy BDSP, they have an Ambipom and an Octillery to deal with. I believe that when it comes to Flint, Ash could have used the same ones, the Gimmick Trio, and it could have gone this way. Gengar against Drifblim, Lucario against Steelix, and Z-Move Pikachu against Megalopony. That would have been an amazing fight. But there's a lot of battles in this show that could have been amazing fights, but the show kinda fumbled. And there's a lot of things that we never got to see. To this day, I don't like that Leon had a Gigantamax Cinderace. He can have Cinderace all he wants. For me though, I still believe that Cinderace, for him, and even Inteleon, should have been Shinies. Granted, I don't like that Go has Inteleon and Cinderace at the same time. I feel like Go could have had Scorbunny as a Scorbunny, but catch him as a Reboot, and Reboot would have stayed as such, because Inteleon kind of becomes the starter ace for the Project Mew missions, because espionage and tactical shit, right? And Cinderace just becomes background just to train with Lucario. I feel like Go kind of had two arcs. The Hop-ish arc, where he gets, the shield of Zamazenta, and they never returned for the Wolves, by the way. And then it feels like Go had two arcs. An arc where Cinderace was the starter and Inteleon is the starter. And then we have Tokyo or Horus with Gardevoir and Gary with Hatterene. It feels like they just splitted Bede in half and gave his two Psychic Fairies to each of Go's rivals. And Bede also battles Hop in the game, so Go still has some Hopisms to him. and that's about it. And after Darkest State, they battle Mewtwo, and Mewtwo, like, why that tease? Why even make the Mewtwo, like, that Mewtwo doesn't even Mega Evolve. Pikachu just loses just for stupid shit. I like the fact that Mewtwo had two Marie because of, Dolly, right, the cloning sheep. They never did that. um we see Gigantamax Rillaboom, but we never see a Gigantamax Inteleon. I thought Inteleon was going to have a power spot in Faraway Island, and they could have used Inteleon vision to see where Mew is, because we see that with the Meowth and Berserker and the T-Evil Naked episode, but they always do these teases and try to flat, but they never deliver. Journeys fail to deliver. Team Rocket, we never even have an arc where Ash defeats Giovanni. I know he kind of did it in Best Wishes, but it doesn't sit well with me, and it doesn't sit well with a lot of people that Team Rocket is still running amok in the Ash continuity. We don't know if they're going to get a closure or saving this for a movie, because Ash, sadly, is the mascot of the anime. He's the one that's going to get those seats on theaters. No one will sadly want to watch a Go or Chloe movie. And Horizons is just starting, so we shall see about that. Next year, it's the 25 years of Gold and Silver. They will probably do something about Lugia and Ho-Ho, because they like to show Ash's patron birds. But yeah, we go to Crown Tundra. We don't even have a plot with, Calyrex. Like, I would have loved if Calyrex and the birds had a plot similar to, Meloetta and Operation Tempest. We could have had Team Rocket create a Galarian Zap Malkuno, but no. Pokemon is very afraid of trying to make all of these risks. We never saw Go with Peony, and we never saw Ash with Mustard either. Like, Hop, why did we had Hop to begin with? But we never even had Mustard. Ash never trained with the mentor of the guy that he was going to eventually beat. It would have been cool if Riolu and Farfetch went to the two towers. The Tower of Water, because Riolu's aura is very connected to, the waves, and Farfetch going to the Tower of Darkness because he knew Brutal Swing and Night Slash. And Riolu trains with Greninja anyway, so that's kind of his water stuff. It's a big old mess. But and there's also the Koharu stuff that I know that a lot of people would like to comment. For me, it's extremely indifferent. I have my vision of her character. If you have yours, that's completely fine, but that's not a topic that I really want to tackle. I just wanted to have one final Journeys rant so that I can be more positive when it comes to the future of this channel. So thank you so much for listening to me, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you another time, trainers. So take care, have an awesome journey, and onwards to new horizons.